Hey everyone, this is Jason. I'm going to be doing my instructional video now for I Need a Lover. I've been asked tons of times to do this, so about time I get around to it, because I didn't see any tabs anywhere, any other videos on YouTube showing this. So let's get started with it. So the intro is very long, but it makes the song, so you should learn it, because a lot of times it just starts from right when he starts singing, but you really just like, the whole intro is really where you want to start with. So the first chord is just a simple B flat 5 power chord. You could do 3 fingers if you want, but it's just a and that's while the piano's going. So then after that, this simple riff, it's the same form is repeated, just on different places on the neck, because in the beginning the key changes a lot. So right at the beginning, it's in the key of B flat. So right here, you're in this position, which is the B flat major pentatonic scale. You're just about in that shape. So that's why you're right here. So it starts right here on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Then you go to the 5th fret. You could pick it or hammer it on. And then you go to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. Then the 5th fret, and then you hit that, do a full step bend, which goes to there, so it's so far. Put a little vibrato on that. Then I shift down here and put my 2nd finger, 3rd fret of the 3rd string. Then 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And then my ring finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string, and the 3rd fret. So it climbs up, and then goes back down. So we'll do it real slow. And a lot of times, you could do it differently. I do it differently every time I play it. Like a lot of times you hear it on the recording, so he'll go. He does those little things in between the trip. That's just a palm mute on that 3rd fret of the 4th string to the 5th. It's just that he just palm mutes it. So that's it. And then you can add like, if you want, just make it your own. That's how I do it. I don't play it the same every single time, but that's kind of how the general format goes. So it's. So that's the last part. So the whole thing goes 4 times. Like you see, I do that pattern I just showed you. You do that 3 times. Sometimes I do hammer-ons, but most of it's picks. So just pay attention to that, and it's not, it's very structured. So then that 4th time, so you do that pattern we know already that we just learned 3 times. Then the last one, you started off the same, but just those last notes, instead of going back down, you go up. So it's. And then you play the 4th fret on the 2nd string to the 3rd fret, back to the 4th fret, to the 6th fret, all on the 2nd string. Or you could slide into it. It doesn't matter how you do it. That's just as long as you get the notes. So I'll play it slow. The whole thing, the first bit, is real slow. And that's the note you end on. Okay, so the next thing you go into, you do that same position where, but what you do is then you shift the whole position up. So instead of your 1st finger being at the 3rd fret of the 4th string, you shift it up to the 11th. So now you're in the key. The key changes to F sharp major, which is up here. So you're in the F sharp major pentatonic scale. So then you do that same exact structure. So it's the 2 notes on the 4th string, 2 notes on the 3rd string, and then that second one is bent up a whole step and brought down, and then you do this boom, bum, bum. So like as if we did the 3-2, like that. You do that up here. The same exact structure on the same just on different frets. So then it goes. Just like that. The thing that's different about this part is that how at the we did down here only on the 4th one. This time we do it on the 2nd and the 4th. So the 1st and the 3rd are the original pattern, and the 2nd and the 4th are going to be that climb up instead of the step down. So it goes. But actually, he doesn't do it a 4th time, because after he slides off of that, then he does a little chord pattern here. So like something I noticed before is like a lot of times is leading into that. There's like some hammer-ons leading into it. So oftentimes I'll go. Hammer-on. That's it. Just 11 to 13 on the 4th to 11th on the 3rd. You could pull this way, you can push up. It doesn't really matter. So then, after, like I said, on the 1st and the 3rd, he does the climb down, or the step down. And on the 2nd, he does the, which is just 12, 11, 12, 14 on the 2nd string. So then, he does this little chord step down. So, it's all on the 5th string. So we do an F sharp power chord, which is on the 9th fret. When you slide down 1 fret, I just do it with 2 fingers. You could do it with 3 if it's easy for you, see? So it goes from 9th fret to the 8th fret, then the 6th fret to the 4th fret. It's these two little slide chunks. So it's 9, 8, 6, 4. So that's that. And then there's a little chord climb up now into the next section. So the next section, he goes on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. That's the F sharp. And then to the 4th fret. And to the 6th fret. See how that goes? So it goes. And then the whole song changes to the key of B. So we went from B flat to F sharp. Now we're in the key of B. That same structure holds for this little lead riff. It's still that same climb up, step down. Same position. You're just now, instead of like, first we were at the 3rd fret. And then we moved to the 11th fret. Now we're doing it at the 4th fret. Second. Now this is a little bit different. You could do a bunch of different ways. You can either do the slide up or the step up on the last one, or you could do a climb down or a step down. It doesn't really matter because it gets kind of mixed up in the recording. So starting when you do the I most times do the step down, and then the next part leads into this kind of solo part. So it's kind of a mishmash on the recording because the drums are doing the snare thing, but I kind of just stay on an E chord for a while until you start hearing the drums go like dun 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 dun. You start hearing the drum fills. That's kind of when I know to start doing. So at first I just go, just kind of like just strum an E chord until you start hearing the dun, 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 dun. That's when you know the chords are changing. So The rhythm chords behind that, if you can't do the solo, because really I never figured out what that solo was. I could show you where I do it, and when I do it in the video, I just kind of, as long as you're in the right scale, you can kind of play whatever notes you want. That's kind of what I do, because it's kind of hard to, I try not to get too specific and kind of try to make it my own. So the rhythm chords behind that, if you just feel like playing that, are just E, here, to a B, then an A, back to the B. So it's... And that's that. So then, like I said, the solo is in, now this part is in the key of E major. So if you play the E major pentatonic, you got... And that's where I do the scale, the solo in the video. So it's just kind of, you just mess around with some bends. It's like that. It's just all hammer-ons and just mess around that. So then when it comes to the end of that, I don't really know what the chord is exactly, but the way I've played it with the bands I'm in, we kind of play a C major chord on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then we say, like, make it sound nasty. So it kind of sounds all distorted and raunchy on the recording. So you hit it and just kind of, I usually keep this first finger in the same place, but then I take these 2 fingers here and I bend them up, like I pull down on them so they bend. See, it kind of goes, it sounds all out of whack. So it's after the... You're just going to have to count how many times that is. You just listen to the recording and you'll be able to tell. And then, like I said, right at the end, when it goes... Then you kind of slide it off. And then you'll see then the piano comes in with the cowbell. So then right after that, there's the slow part, and then the guitar comes in. It's kind of quiet, but it's the same. We go back to the key of B flat. Now, we played that before. Now we're playing that the same exact notes, just an octave lower. So now we're on the 1st fret. So imagine, because we played 3rd fret here. Now we're going 1st fret. That's the octave. So now we're going 1st fret to 3rd fret. So 1, 3, then 1 on the 5th string. Now I do a slide from 3 to 5 on the 5th string. Back to 3. And then you play 1st fret on the 5th string. Open 5th string. 3rd fret. Back to 1st fret. You do that twice. Both slide downs. There's no step up when you do the low part. So then, right after you do the... Back to the beginning. So the beginning. And now the last one, you do a step up. So then next, you play an F sharp major chord on the 2nd fret of the 2nd fret of the 6th string, and then to the C sharp chord, which is on the 4th fret of the 5th string. Then you go all the way up here to the 12th fret of the 1st string, which is an F sharp note, and then you put your pointer finger there, and then you put your ring finger on the, I guess it would be 17th fret. Gets crazy when it gets up high. So then that's what you do. What's called a unison bend. So you play both the notes, and they're off. Then you bend this note up by keeping this note planted on the 1st string. You take this one. You just kind of like mess around with it. So. You just kind of like put the vibrato on it and play both the notes. And slide it down. So I think you do that 4 times too. Yeah, 4 times. That same exact thing 4 times. And then you hit an E major chord. All 6 strings. And I like to count to 4 because the song is in 4 when they come in to the part that builds up into the intro or to the where he starts singing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you go to an F sharp chord. You don't have to count it. You can kind of just feel it or listen to the song when it comes in. But so we do the 4 times. E. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F sharp. And then you kind of play that like you do like in the beginning with the B flat chord. You just kind of play it on the downbeats. So, I mean, you could play through the chord if you want. It doesn't really matter. And then this is where the whole band kicks in and they're into the beat. So then you go back up. The majority of the song until we get to the very end is in the key of F sharp major. That's the main rhythm pattern, which I'll show you in a minute. So then, after we do that twice, then we go into where the band kicks in. And then it's just like we did at the 11th fret before. Step up. Okay, so that's just like we did before, and then we do that same step down from 9 to 8 to 6 to 4. Those two little chunks. And right when you hit the 4th fret, I do a little slide. And that is the end of the intro.